Disgusted. Absolutely disgusted, man. The WNBA players, the WNBPA, all of these people involved, man, they have literally done everything they can to kill off the league, to kill off the Caitlin Clark hype, to kill off the Caitlin Clark fandom, to push her fans away because of their jealousy, their ego. They're mad that this didn't happen because of them. All of this stuff, all the things they claimed they wanted, they did not care about sabotaging it because they were not the reason for these things happening.
The WNBA players and their union have stepped into the octagon and knocked themselves out cold with absolute disgust. They have literally done everything in their power to kill off the league and destroy the Caitlin Clark hype train. People pushed away the massive fandom because of their uncontrollable jealousy and their fragile egos. They were furious that this explosion of popularity did not happen because of them. They claimed they wanted the spotlight, but they did not care about sabotaging it when it finally arrived. The league has pulled off the impossible by destroying their own success story in record time.
Appreciate it. As we continue to chug along in this WNBA offseason, the gift that keeps on giving. We have to get into this article here, man. This is sad. It's actually embarrassing that they have let jealousy and all these other things ruin such a great thing. This is on Front Office Sports. Here it says, teams move. Fewer fever visits after Caitlin Clark's injury riddle.
The WNBA just killed their own golden goose, and the financial consequences are hitting them like a truck. Caitlin Clark brought sold-out arenas and millions in revenue and mainstream attention to a league that was desperate for it. Now we are seeing teams that will not even book NBA venues for her games. Because the hype is damaged, we went from 9 moved games last season to a pathetic 4 games this year. The league sabotaged itself through jealousy, and now the numbers are dropping. Faster than a knockout victim, they have alienated their biggest star, and the fan base is walking out the door.
Injury-riddled season. Indiana had 9 road games moved to larger arenas last year, but just 4 so far for 2026. Now, her injury-riddled season. Why was she hurt? Because in her rookie season, y'all beat the hell out of her. Y'all beat the crap out of her to the point where she went and felt the need to bulk up and look like The Rock going out there. If you smell what the Clark is cooking. She had to go put on muscle like The Rock and all of this stuff.
They have turned off the people and pushed the business away to the point of no return. That it is a sad day for business when Caitlin Clark games are not being added to as many NBA arenas. This is money lost for every single person involved in the league, and they have no one to blame but themselves. There is no other way to describe what the WNBA and its players accomplished other than absolutely disgusting. They had sold out arenas, and corporate sponsorships handed to them on a silver platter. They systematically destroyed it all through pettiness and ego, and now they are watching the consequences.
And we know the schedule came out the other day. Of course, there's still not a CBA deal in place. So there's that in all of this, and I would keep this in mind. But we've got the sports media proclaiming that the other WNBA teams...
The numbers have just dropped, and they are absolutely brutal for the Indiana Fever road games. Last season saw 9 of the Fever road games move to larger NBA arenas for massive crowds. This season, we are looking at just 4 games moved, which is a 55% drop. Teams that were scrambling to book bigger venues are now backing off because they are scared. The Chicago Sky and Dallas Wings and Washington Mystics all moved games last year but are hesitating now. It is actually embarrassing that they let jealousy ruin such a profitable thing for the entire league.
Have basically decided that the Caitlin Clark effect is over. That it's a wrap. That no longer do WNBA fans want to fill NBA arenas.
This isn't happening because the interest in Caitlin Clark has dried up or disappeared. The Fever still averaged over 15,000 fans at road games. Last season, which is a massive number, that is 4,000 more fans than any other team in the league could even dream of getting. Every single road game that got moved to a larger arena sold out completely. The demand is real and measurable and undeniable, but the teams are not booking the venues. They simply cannot trust that Caitlin will be healthy enough to play because of the abuse she takes. This fault lies directly with the players and coaches who spent the entire season treating her like a tackling dummy. They beat the absolute hell out of her during her first year while the referees just watched. The physical abuse she endured was not basketball, it was assault with a whistle in the pocket. Caitlin got flagrantly fouled more than any player in league history because she was targeted. Other players targeted her with reckless intent. and the officials let it happen night after night. Indiana had 9 road games moved last year, but only 4 so far for 2026. The reason she was hurt is because the rest of the league beat the crap out of her. She felt the need to bulk up and look like The Rock just to survive the physical onslaught. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert sat in her office and watched players intentionally injure the league's biggest star. She watched referees ignore blatant fouls and dangerous plays and straight attacks on the court. The officials allowed prison ball to become the standard whenever Caitlin touched the basketball. Players hip-checked her and clotheslined her and undercut her while the whistles stayed silent. Caitlin Clark had to add significant muscle mass because she realized she needed to physically survive. She transformed her body because the league refused to protect her from the violence. She dealt with injuries throughout her second season because her body was not designed for that mass. The groin injury that ended her season happened because of the toll the league forced on her. She played in just 13 games total because the physical demands were too high. The sports media is proclaiming that other teams have decided the Caitlin Clark effect is over. Teams had already booked those big arenas, assuming she would be healthy and ready to play. The Chicago Sky moved games to the United Center and saw empty seats when she did not show up. These organizations lost money because they could not guarantee their investment in the star player. This is directly because the league allowed Caitlin to be physically destroyed by her opponents. Teams are hesitant and they are not booking NBA arenas months in advance anymore. They saw what happened last year and they know that bad business is booking a star who gets injured. The Atlanta Dream play in a tiny arena and they are not moving their game to State Farm Arena yet. They are waiting to see if it is worth the risk because of the uncertainty created by the league. The deeper problem is that the players and union actively pushed the fans away with their attitude. The jealousy and hostility and constant downplaying of Caitlin turned the people off completely. Fans showed up ready to support the entire league, but they were met with hostility. Instead of entertainment, they got physical attacks on the player they came to see, and players complaining. The media coverage has evaporated, and ESPN barely mentions the WNBA anymore. Fox Sports has moved on, and all the analysts who were talking about women's basketball are silent. Stephen A. Smith is not discussing it, and Colin Cowherd is not discussing it, and Nick Wright is gone. Even Monica McNutt, who built her entire platform on WNBA coverage, has gone completely quiet. The mainstream attention evaporated because the product became unwatchable due to the toxicity. Fans tuned in to watch basketball and instead watched officials ignore fouls and players target Caitlin. The Chicago Sky booked the United Center twice and attendance dropped significantly when she was injured. Angel Reese was not even playing by that point and the crowd only came for one player. When Caitlin was not available, the fans did not show up, and that is the harsh reality. Caitlin Clark is the draw, and without her the league is losing its momentum. The schedule includes 19 moved games, but most of that is because of the Toronto expansion team. When you remove the expansion logistics, the number of games moved for crowds actually went down. The 4 Fever road games scheduled for bigger venues are all later in the season. Teams are waiting to see if Caitlin stays healthy before committing to expensive venue changes. This shows exactly how much trust was destroyed by allowing her to be injured repeatedly. Releasing the schedule early gives teams time to make changes, but the hesitation is obvious. The WNBA had everything it claimed it wanted, including mainstream attention and higher salaries. Caitlin Clark delivered all of that, and the players and league systematically destroyed it. The jealousy was obvious from day one because players could not handle a girl from Iowa taking the spotlight. They wanted it to be about them and their work, and they sabotaged the whole thing out of ego. The WNBA Players Association has been particularly terrible and made decisions that hurt their own interests. They have alienated fans who wanted to support them, and now they are facing the consequences. Teams won't book expensive venues because they cannot trust the product on the floor. Sponsors are reassessing their investments because the viewership is simply not there anymore. The unrivaled 3-on-3 league that launched has terrible viewership because nobody is watching. People are not interested in watching WNBA players in a different format without the star power. The league overestimated how much people cared about women's basketball versus Caitlin Clark specifically. Caitlin did everything possible to save this league, and she got physical abuse in return. The WNBA had a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and they blew it because of jealousy and incompetence. They destroyed their own golden goose, and now they are paying for it with fewer games and less revenue.